The NBA has always been a league of change. From the way the game is played to the type of players dominating the floor, evolution is the one constant. The game has evolved in almost every way. Pace, coaching styles, shot selection, the players themselves have transformed too. I mean, if you dropped Kyrie Irving into the 1960s, they'd probably accuse him of wizardry. But one thing that's remained consistent is the importance of having an effective big man. The only question is, how did we go from this
Abdul-Jabbar, skyhook from 6 feet.
As Big Bill Russell now has Russell
to this?
Jokic has it. Clock ticks, got to put one up. Jokic for the win. Oh! Into an NBA game, but
how about Jokic with an incredible pass to Aaron Gordon? Every night we see something new from Nikola Jokic.
In order to fully grasp the change we've seen in NBA bigs, let's set the stage and see how we got here. Back in 1949, the NBA was first created, and up until the 2000s, the role of the big man was very clear. Bigs did the dirty work, boxing out, getting rebounds, blocking shots, setting screens, and being physical. This era can be thought of as the traditional big man era. Picture legends like Kareem, Bill Russell, Hakeem, Shaquille O'Neal, Wilt Chamberlain, Dikembe, Alonzo Mourning, and Patrick Ewing. These players were physical nightmares, making opponents think twice before even attempting a layup. Let's not get anything confused though. All of these players put up some incredible numbers. Take Shaq for example, arguably the most dominant player of all time. He has a career average of 23.7 points, 10.9 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game. He was a walking double-double and served as a defensive anchor. During the Lakers' three-peat, Shaq was arguably the best player on the team. Much of the Lakers' offense revolved around getting the ball to Shaq in the post and clearing out for him. In the 2000 NBA season, he averaged 21 two-point attempts per game. Interestingly, his lack of a perimeter game was not viewed as a flaw in this era because the focus was on getting to the rim rather than shooting three-pointers. The entire offense often revolved around big men who could be back to the basket, utilizing their physicality to score. This style of basketball was inside out, with the spotlight on the big. The late 2000s marked a shift in how the big man was used in the NBA. Leading this change was none other than Dirk Nowitzki. Although he wasn't listed as a center, Dirk, standing at 7 feet tall, had a jump shot so deadly that his one-legged post-up fadeaway became his signature move. Dirk's ability to stretch the floor with his shooting and scoring from beyond the paint forced teams to rethink the role of the big man. His success with the Dallas Mavericks, resulting in an MVP award and an NBA championship, set the blueprint for a new era of versatile big men. If we take a look at these heat maps from NBASavant.com, we can clearly see the contrast between the traditional center, like DeAndre Jordan, and Dirk's game. On the left, we have Jordan's shot chart. You can see how limited his shot locations are, primarily around the basket. On the right is Dirk's chart. Notice the widespread zones across mid-range and beyond the arc. It's basically night and day between these two styles. Dirk's game wasn't just about size, it was about versatility and range. Teams quickly recognized how valuable it was to have a big man who could stretch the floor and create spacing. With shooters like Dirk pulling defenders away from the rim, it opened up driving lanes for guards and wings, making the offense far more dynamic. By the late 2000s, NBA teams began prioritizing big men who could shoot and pass, sparking the rise of the stretch five. Players like Pau Gasol and Chris Bosh were perfect examples of this new breed of big men. They weren't just standing in the paint. They were knocking down mid-range jumpers and even stepping out to the three-point line. As this trend spread across the league, it became clear that traditional bigs were going to have a harder time staying relevant. Centers now needed to adapt, expanding their game beyond the rim and adding new skill sets to stay effective in this evolving NBA. Fast forward to today's NBA, and we see the next generation of centers doing things that the big men of the past would never attempt. Take Nikola Jokic, for example. He has completely redefined the center position. With his unique playmaking skills, it's fair to call him a point center. He consistently puts his teammates in the best position to score, averaging 6.9 assists per game, an all-time high for centers who have played at least 400 games in NBA history. To put that in perspective, the next 4 players all average fewer than 5 assists per game. This playmaking ability sets Jokic apart from what a traditional center used to be. Decades ago, you'd never see a big man dribbling up the court or leading a fast break, but Jokic does that regularly. And it's not just Jokic. Many of today's centers are stretching the floor and hitting three-pointers consistently. This gives teams far more versatility in their offensive schemes. If we take a look at the list of all-time three-point leaders among NBA centers with a minimum of 400 games played, almost every name in the top 15 has played in this era. The game has changed dramatically. In fact, an analysis by Bruin Sports Analytics found that from 2004 to 2023, centers are shooting on average 6,000 more three-point field goals. This shift in shot selection underscores how much the role of big men has evolved over the years. Now, centers are expected to do it all: dribble, pass, shoot, and protect the rim. Players like Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, and Bam Adebayo showcase how versatile today's big men have become. They can stretch the floor, switch defensively, and handle the ball just like guards. From Shaq's pure dominance in the paint to Jokic's point center brilliance, the center position has transformed in ways we couldn't have imagined just a few decades ago. Today's big men are expected to do so much more than rebound and defend. They need to pass, shoot, and even initiate the offense. So, what does the future hold? As the NBA continues to evolve, the role of the big man will likely continue to expand. We're already seeing players like Victor Wembanyama pushing the boundaries of what a 7-footer can do. The game is faster, more versatile, and more global than ever before. But one thing is certain: no matter how much the game changes, the big man will always find a way to adapt and stay at the center of it all.